Hail to the king, baby.
Hello, motherfucker.
Welcome to the party, pal. Your fun neighborhood master Chaos here for the first installment of a new panel review series that is strictly Chaos family related. Our first inaugural episode will be Scream 6. We're going to do, for the first half of this, spoiler free. We promise not to mention anything. I've already talked to my Chaos clan, as the guys don't mention anything whatsoever. We're going to keep it spoiler free. Down at the bottom, there's a ticker. It says non-spoiler. When we switch to spoilers, I will switch the ticker. Remind me, keep me honest, because I want to make sure that no one gets messed up there. Now, I've got my Cherry Coke. I couldn't find Diet Cherry Coke. If you've seen the movie, you know why. Got my Cherry Coke, and of course, I've got my collectible AMC cup here. Whoa, actually, my top came off. As you can see, I'm wearing my Snuggie. That is the uniform for the show. That is our battle attire, shall we say. I hope you're wearing a Snuggie. If not, next time, join us and wear a Snuggie. I'm going to wait for the Chaos family to get back in the chat. We had some technical difficulties on their end, and they'll be here any moment. Let me check in with the Chiyayat. Paul Medina says, much love to everyone. Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much. Much love to you. Magic Hands, what's up? What is up? Yeah, rocking the Snuggie. We gotta wear it, and I promise you, everybody's wearing the snug. Hopefully, we'll get them in. I don't know where everybody went down there. Blucka, what is up? Things are about to get chaotic. Absolutely, stand in silence. Hello to you. All right, let me bring in my first family member, the Chaos Clan family member. You know him, you love him. He tracks down information that we all love. Tracker Chaos. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Maybe it's not Tracker Chaos. Who could it be?
It's me. I did it.
Oh no, it is. Oh my God. I knew it. I had a feeling. We thought you were the red herring, but sometimes it's always the red herring, right?
Yeah.
So TC, how are you, man? How's your weekend been?
Oh, good man. Good man. Yourself?
Not bad, man. Let's just say I'm very happy this weekend. I was hoping I wouldn't be disappointed, and luckily I was not. Do you have your drink in hand, sir?
Yeah, it's right here.
So this is a thing I didn't know. There are different toppers, different ghost faces, right? Can you show how close? Let's see. Can you get that a little closer to the camera there?
Yeah.
So yours is like he's turning sideways. Mine is looking right at you. That's interesting. And so there's 3 from what I understand.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know. I just asked for it, and they just gave it to me. I'm like, oh, cool. And then I realized, wait a second, it's different than yours. So
that is interesting. So I don't know if I most likely will not go and get the other ones, but I actually did buy 3 of these. One for me and one for each of my children because they would fight over it. So I decided to just get them their own. All right, finally, he looks like he's figured out his technical issues. Last, but certainly not least, you've asked where he is. He's here now. And, by the way, TC, I love your Snuggie. I'm glad that you decided to join us in the Snuggie.
Yeah, I gotta say, though, I'm not sure. I'm torn because I don't know if it's like a really comfortable wizard or a cult leader who used way too much fabric softener. This is really weird.
Both is fine. Both is fine. Skyla says, Tracker Chaos in the house. That's right. He's here, and Paul's sending you a thumbs up.
Hey, what's up, guys?
There you go. Alrighty, last but not least, you've asked where he is. He's still alive, and he's here on our first episode. BC in the house!
Hey, everybody. I'm glad to be here. I'm excited. Me and Tracker Chaos went to go see Scream 6, and I had to get one of these cups. It was so awesome. I really love the figurine.
So we had, so what's cool is you can take them off, and now you have like a little Scream, like a little ghost face guy to play with.
Yeah, take them off.
I like that. Excellent. Well, BC, how have you been, man? You've been away from the channel for a while. How are things? How's life?
Life is good. You know, my father is ill, but you know that kind of darkens thing, and I've kind of been you know, doing different things here and there. I got a Nintendo Switch Lite and I'm playing my favorite genre of video games, role playing games. I'm not a big gamer, but now I have three things to distract myself from adult life. I have my Switch Lite, I have my Kindle, and I have obviously movies. So whenever I could jump back and forth, different things like that. But I've been good. I'm glad to be back. Every now and again, I look forward. If Master Chaos continues this 3-man and a little movie series, you'll see me all the time because this is perfect for me. Not a big group of people. I get a little bit camera like nervousness when there's a lot of people on the panel, but that's just me. Anyway, I'm glad to be here talking about Scream and the franchise, and particularly Scream 6. So thank you, everybody.
Excelente. Craig wants to know, does the Scream lid fit on an Arby's cup?
That's a good one. I don't know. I would have to try.
It might. Looks like it's. I don't know if this is like a standard size for these kind of cups. It might. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either. We'll have one day we'll find out. Maybe we'll test it on the next episode or on an episode.
By the way, I don't have the white Arby's cup. That one I picked up when I was visiting Master Chaos in California. Here, I went to Arby's to get a white cup, like the one Chaos has in his Chaos Cave, and they gave me a large cup. I go, no, I want the large, and it was a transparent cup, a clear cup. So I guess here where I live, they don't have the white cup anymore, or maybe I don't know. So I wanted to get
rare.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it isn't, but we'll find it. Craig says, prayers for your father, BC.
Thank you, Craig. Much appreciated.
Skyla says, Triple Chaos this year, and we will have so much fun. I'm excited to see you all at Master Chaos. I have the Raiders of Atlantis Blu-ray. It came yesterday, so I'm good for the live video whenever you need me. Well, Skyla, I need you Tuesday. You'll have to email me so I can send you the link for the show. There's an invite link. So, although I think you can contact me on Twitter. I'm not really on Twitter anymore. So send me an email. Easy. It's in the description, and I'll send you the invite. We're good to go for Tuesday. Excelente. All right, we got a Spanish comment from Paul Medina. Me alegra mucho velo otra vez. I've never heard of velo, but anyway. Te considero un buen amigo y una persona muy agradable. Bienvenido. And by the way, how's Pussy Chaos?
By the way, thank you, Paul. Pussy Chaos is good. He told me he prefers to be called Cat Chaos or Kitty Chaos. He's a male cat. But if you guys
Gotcha.
Thank you, Paul.
That's fine.
Muchas gracias, Paul.
Yeah, there you go.
You speak
Spanish?
Sí, yo hablo español bien.
Pero qué mierda es eso.
Oh my god.
We have already gone off the rails. All right, we're here to talk Scream 6. 3 men, a little movie. Just so you know, it's going to be the three of us discussing one movie per episode, in depth, as far as we're willing to go in terms of, how it's gonna roll. We will say sometimes we do get a little PC. That's kind of what we do here. We should have a PC. We have to add we had Pussy Chaos, but we can't really talk. So yeah, we'll have to add a PC. But yeah, so we're pals, and sometimes we talk like friends talk to each other. So if that offends you, we apologize. We don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but we just like to fuck around and talk about movies. That's what we're doing here. So, all right, non-spoiler thoughts. I've already done my review on Coffee with Chaos on Friday, so I'm gonna go Tracker Chaos. Let's start with you. Non-spoiler review, Scream 6.
So, okay, non-spoiler, so we can't say Ghostface is a killer, right? We can't say that.
No, keep that under your hat, yeah.
Okay. No, I love the movie. I loved it. It's, oh my God, it's a lot. I mean, I think better only because when you said you loved it, it gave that little extra bit of like, okay, if he liked it, it's got to be really good, and it was. In my opinion, it was great. It was definitely one of the best sequels.
Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, and we'll talk about rankings when we get to it. But excellent. Okay, so you're a big fan of this movie.
Yep.
How would you compare it to 5?
I mean, I did like 5. I think one of the things that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I wasn't too fond of the motive of the killer in the 5th movie, but outside of that, um, I don't know. I felt like you mentioned a lot of the points that I liked in your coffee show. The location, it just felt different, but in a good way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Mhm.
and I think that it flowed. I think it flowed better. It was not that the 5th one was not entertaining, but I found this one that much more entertaining. And definitely the Ghostface is a lot. Like the brutality and like you said, doesn't give a shit, and
Yeah. No, this
that goes a long way.
this Ghostface is
Yeah,
definitely the ballsiest Ghostface
yeah,
we've had.
yeah.
Uh, excellent. Okay, BC, what are your sort of opening non-spoiler thoughts?
I really, really enjoyed this movie. I liked it a lot. I want to say um, at the beginning that Scream is not my favorite horror franchise. It's one of my favorites, but it's not my
Uh huh.
favorite. So I've seen all the movies around 2 or 3 times each. Part 6 was one of the better ones in the franchise. Um, it's, as you asked, Tracker Chaos. It's very similar. I consider this kind of like the second wave of Scream films since
Hmm.
starting with part 5 and 6 when we no longer have Wes Craven and Williamson, right? The writer
Kevin Williamson, yeah.
Kevin Williamson is no longer writing. So I consider this the second wave because it's a requel combination between a sequel and a reboot. And I like how in the 5th film, the black girl, I forgot her name. What's her name? Master
Mindy,
Chaos?
Mindy.
Mindy.
Yes. How Mindy, since she's a film student, she talks up and no, it feels like part 5 is and 6 having her there explaining to us what the requel is. And I think that happens more in part 5 than in part 6. In part 6 there's like 1 or 2 scenes of it. In part 5 I think there's more scenes of the movie self-aware that it's a movie that's a requel. Now
Mm.
part 5 and 6 I both liked. I would almost say in my mind, in my opinion, they're like a tie because they're both, I enjoyed them equally the same. But the one that I would have to put on a higher level, like on my rankings, I'll let you know when we get to that part. Now, part 6, as Master Chaos said, and Tracker Chaos, the killer this time it's more brutal. Very all. I was watching before the part 6. Me and Tracker Chaos. I don't know if you did that, Master Chaos. We watched all the films in the series, and I would have to say that all the kills are really good. But as the series moves into the sequels and part 3, part 4, part 5, etc., it amps up. I really like how part 5 and 6 he stabs the person, but like really fast, like with all that pent up energy and rage. He's just bam, 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 bam. That is fantastic. That's the kind of stuff that I want to see in a horror film. uh, Not the cheesy stuff where it's just bam and then or off camera kills. Don't give me none of
Yeah.
that off camera kills garbage. The Scream franchise has done its fans good with those types of killings, and part 5 and 6, and 6 especially. This is not a spoiler, but we've all seen in the trailer the scene when she's climbing out of her apartment
Mm.
to another apartment, and the thing she's
Hmm.
climbing on is a ladder that her neighbor, I think they call him the cute neighbor, the cute boy, something like that.
Cute boy, yeah.
Yeah, cute boy. They're
Danny.
climbing across it, and
Mm.
that is tension filled awesomeness. You know, and when
What?
Ghostface is at the
Yeah,
other end, he's
yeah,
shaking the ladder.
yeah.
Oh man, I was like grabbing my seat, at the movie theater watching that. That is so. It has really cool scenes. The bodega scene where Ghostface gets a hold of the shotgun.
Hmm.
Forget about it, man. In all these movies, in in all these movies, usually
Yeah.
you see when the killer gets a gun is usually towards the end of the movie when they take off their mask and it's revealed who the killer is. In this movie, in the bodega, he gets the shotgun, and it's cool to see Ghostface proper, the ominous killer, in that attire, which makes him more menacing, more scary, more.
He's more in the public. He's right. Like it's not like
Yeah.
he's taking one person out in the middle. No. He just walks in to 20 people. He doesn't care. And he just takes
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, that scene, and it's scenes like that are in the part 6 that it makes it a great movie. Suffice to say, I loved it. I love this movie. I love all the movies in the Scream series, well, except for part 3. But when we get talk about that later on. So that's my initial thoughts on part 6.
Okay.
Excellent. Obviously, we can't move forward non-spoilery, so we're gonna come to a close on the non-spoiler section here.
Well, that was
Hopefully,
quick.
we don't lose everybody, but just so you know, I will tell you when that happens. Real briefly, like I said, I love the franchise. I was there opening night. I was the first one to watch it of the group, and I said, guys, we got to go see Scream. And we went back the next weekend. I was telling you guys all about it. I've loved this movie since opening night. The franchise means a good deal to me. And the ups and downs have been tough. Obviously, I think Scream 3 is a disaster. And it's unfortunate because it didn't have to be as disastrous as it was. The underrated part 4, I think, is still the best sequel, in my opinion, for many reasons. And we can go into it later. But what 6 does is it fucking feels like a Scream movie. I like part 2, but I never loved it. There was something about part 2 that always felt like just kind of about it. It's the best way for me to describe it.
Was it Jerry O'Connell singing?
Yeah, the singing part.
You. So what am I so afraid of?
Like there was a little bit too much levity, I guess. It should have been a little bit more, a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I didn't like the singing. That's a good. And Craig, actually, that's a good question. Did my daughter come back for this one? She hated 5. She loved 6 to the point that I think she really liked the character. Obviously, because they do a lot more with the characters in this one.
Yeah.
So she absolutely loved this one. So everybody loved it. By the way, my entire Chaos family loved it. Loved it.
Awesome.
But I never liked Scream 2. There was something about Scream 2 that didn't work for me. I didn't like the college setting. I didn't like, there was too many characters, and I don't know, there's something, and I didn't like the Randy death. There was just so much about it that felt weird to me.
Yeah.
3 was on another planet. Like, what the fuck are you doing? This is a comedy now. Like that, when you talk about Scooby-Doo, part 3 felt like a Scooby-Doo movie, with some kind of death.
Part 3 was that Jerry O'Connell in part 3, right?
No, that was part 2.
3 was the one where they're
part 3 was Hollywood
and all that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. 4 felt like it went back to the original roots of the first one. It felt serious, and you still had the goofiness in it, but it felt like, I mean, to this day, I still say part 4 had the best killer reveal compared to the first one. It was the first one, and then the 4th one had the best killer reveal.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the 6th killer reveal, which is on the fence. You either go with it or you don't.
Right.
But part 5 for me, I've grown to like it more now because of 6. I think 6 really helped me enjoy 5 more.
Yeah.
But my problem with 5 is I didn't like, and spoilers for 5, but it's too late. That's been out for a while. You know, they killed Dewey like a bitch. The killer's motive was really lame. Oh, we're super fans, and we want to bring it back to basics and have a new story. That's lame. I didn't like the Billy Ghost hallucinations thing. I thought that was a stretch.
I didn't like that.
Is it just me, or does it seem like he has a lot of makeup in that?
Well, he's old. They had to age him down.
Well, I know he's older, but like I saw him in one of those conventions in person, and he looks like perfectly like.
Well, they had to get rid of the wrinkles, so that's where the smoothing comes out. That's why it looks like it's a lot of makeup, because they had to make him look like he's 20 and not 40, 50 something.
No,
or
that
whatever.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just looked like a lot of makeup.
It did look, and that's why another thing, it looked weird. It just looked kind of strange. But so there was a lot of elements in part 5 that I'm like, no. And if anyone go back to my review, I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this. I kind of liked it, but I kind of hated it at the same time. And I always said 5 will decide how I feel about 6 will decide how I feel about 5.
Right.
6 has definitely improved 5 for many reasons, and we'll get into that when we get into spoilers. But overall, yeah, I love 6. I think it's a solid ass movie. I gave it 5 stars, and it's the only after 4, it's the only sequel that I say felt like a Scream movie. It was scary, it was intense, it was a good whodunit because they do a lot of tricks to really keep us guessing.
Yeah.
And I don't buy anybody who says they called the killer. There's no way. At least one of them. There's no fucking way you called that killer. No fucking way. I don't believe it.
No. Well, I'm not gonna say anything.
We'll talk about it. But anyway, that's it for non-spoilers. Thumbs up across the board. For the movie. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. We think it's a really good sequel. Don't watch it if you haven't seen any of the other movies because it spoils the entire franchise. Don't do that to yourself. Watch the franchise, then go see 6. You'll feel better. Trust me. Do it that way.
There's in the police station. There's a board with all the killers of all the movies on there, right?
Literally, there's a board.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
Yeah, you don't want to walk away ruined because that would not be fun. That would not be fun.
You could skip part 3 if you want.
Yeah. You absolutely could. Alrighty, now we're switching over, guys. Spoiler time.
Full throttle.
Full throttle. We're going full force, as BC says. We're gonna go
full force
like that.
Yeah.
Like the
full
stabbings.
force. Slam it home.
Balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall. Mike is in agreement. He says, never cared for 2 and 3, but part 4 is my second favorite. Yeah, Mike. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Daikatana says Scary Movie series is way better than the Scream series. I don't know about that. Daikatana says, I thought Chad died in part 5. No, he was taken out in a stretcher at the end of the movie. So he's survived twice. He survived twice. Let's see. Daikatana says, I knew the cop was one of the killers and that annoying teen. Did you though? I mean, I guess everybody could just guess. Okay, so let's save the reveal for last. Let's start spoilers. We're gonna break this movie down in pieces, guys. Let's start at the opening sequence. Samara Weaving is our
awesome.
Samara Weaving is basically our Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, I did not like her Australian accent. When she first started, I was like, ugh. I don't know.
I was like, I know she's going on.
I know.
That's her real voice.
She was going on a blind date, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To meet up, but she was too nervous. I mean, it's okay to be nervous, but she was like, I was looking at the movie. I'm like, what's wrong with you? You know, I mean, I know you're going on a blind date, but she was like overly too nervous. I think it was overacted.
Like I would have been nervous going with her, but she shouldn't be nervous.
Yeah.
I don't know what one thing I paid attention to. So, you know, I like costuming, so I pay attention to people's costumes. You know, and when she walked out of the restaurant, I'm like, damn, she got a juicy booty.
I think that's one of the guys in the street crossing the street said that.
Yeah, and I turned to my wife and go, "What do you think of that, honey? That's pretty. That's a pretty sweet badonk." No.
Oh my god.
And so now I'm living in a box, guys. I don't live at home anymore.
In the box.
But yeah, no, she was. I was like, wow, okay, that's a pretty interesting package. I mean, they certainly knew how to dress her. Dress for success, I say.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's Australian, so that accent kind of shocked me. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's off-putting.
You don't like accents?
I didn't like that Australian accent. I don't know. It sounded I don't know. It sounded a little weird to me.
Okay.
But that's just, I don't know. That's just what jumped out at me. Just a first reaction. She's on a blind date. TC, what happens to her on this blind date?
Well, she gets a little call from her date, and he seems to be lost. So it pretty much becomes one of those things, back and forth, trying to find the place. And ultimately, she's lured out of the said restaurant to try to help flag down her date. And then, well, you know, murder ensues. Murder ensues.
She's our opening kill. Daikatana in the chat says Samara died too quick. Yeah, I get that, but I feel that that's kind of the fun of it is the fact that she was gone. You know, that you thought we would spend a little more time with her, but it's who cares who she is? You know, she's a celebrity, but she's just a disposable meat.
Yeah, but and also that wasn't even the surprise kill, anyways. Technically.
Right. Flash Thompson was a surprise kill.
Oh, I'm glad that was happening to you. I didn't like his face. I'm
Michael. Michael says, "I'm Australian and I hated the accent. It was over the top." Well, apparently that was her real. Wow. That is her real voice. So she wasn't faking it there. So yeah, I don't know.
No.
So BC, what happens? She walks into this alley and she gets killed. What happens next? What turns the tables on this opening sequence?
Well, you find out that Ghostface kills her. Then you see Ghostface go to his apartment, and it's this dude.
Wait! But
you see, something. He's a fan of the Killings in Woodsboro and the Stab movies, and his roommate, I believe, is a friend of his, and they both together have decided to dress up as Ghostface and do killings. And he's talking on the phone with him. He says, "How was it killing a person?" And he's like, "Oh, if I remember correctly," he says it's like at first it was a little bit exciting and nervous, but then it's like stabbing meat, right? Mm-hmm. It's just like stabbing a piece of meat. And then he gets killed, and you find you're wondering who killed him, and it's the real Ghostface, the one in the it's gonna be the killer in this movie. Yeah,
what did he miss? What did he miss, TC?
Oh no, because the thing that I didn't expect to happen, that he revealed himself right away after he killed him.
Right.
So it's like he took the mask off. I'm like, wait a second, what's going on? It's like they're gonna do Ghost somewhere completely different with this one.
Yeah, I thought that's a good move. And at first I thought, oh, they're making a movie. They're making a student film, or they're shooting a Stab movie, and it's gonna be okay. Cut, great guys, blah 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 blah. But no, it just kept going, and then we basically, this movie, we're in spoilers now, so we can say it. This movie basically has 5 ghost faces, even though one of them is in a fridge. Technically,
that's right. That's right. Yeah. Sorry, I get mental blocks sometimes. That's right.
No. You're fine.
He gets a call, and he thinks he's talking to his roommate, the other ghost face. But then he says they play a game of hot and cold. He goes, "Where are you?" So he's like, "Okay, you're getting colder, you're getting warmer." And when he's close to the refrigerator, on the phone he says warmer. So he opens the fridge and he finds his roommate killed, like beheaded and like stuffed into the refrigerator. Yeah. So when they're having a conversation, he says, "Oh, we promise not to use the voice modulator thing that gives Ghostface his menacing voice," but it keeps going. So then you find out that the real Ghostface is wanting to kill these 2 people off because
for me, overall, the opening sequence was very unique, very interesting, and definitely the body parts in the fridge felt very much like an 80s slasher movie kind of thing, like something you'd see in Pieces, or any one of the Jason movies, or Leatherface. So I really enjoyed seeing that. I thought that was a very different. I mean, right from the beginning, they're telling you this Ghostface is going to cut people to pieces. That's fucked up.
As a matter of fact, that little Easter egg you had also mentioned on your coffee show the other day, that little Easter egg with the Jason Takes Manhattan. And I don't know if you noticed it. You must have, because you've seen the movie like 3 times. But there's during that scene when the guy's walking around, and you're like, you just tension because you don't know if he's gonna get killed, and you hear the in the background.
Yep. No, it's a scene from Jason Takes Manhattan, which is fantastic. So they do nod. He's not. He's not a ghost. He's a little child. Chat. We'll chat. I'm seeing all your comments. I want to make sure we chime in when we get to those portions. Sup, Roland? Welcome to the party, pal.
Hey.
All right. So the opening scene is pretty unique because it does deliver on something different. We get 2 kills, and another thing that I felt that was very interesting is, and was something we hadn't seen until, I mean, since part 3, was that we have a guy talking to Ghostface. It's usually a girl. Part 3 had Weary on the phone, but for the most part, he was talking to a girl, which the girl Ghostface. But
Right.
so it was different in that regard, and we do kill off sort of our biggish names in the beginning of the movie, which is par for the course. I mean, I knew once Samara Weaving was cast that she's the opening kill. There's no way, she's the opening kill. She's dead.
Yeah.
But a great opening sequence, great way to begin the movie. And honestly, I'm already was pretty impressed with that opening, which was an improvement on the 5th one, because I feel like the 5th one felt like the problem with the part 5 is it's too much of a rehash. This one, while it is essentially Scream 2, I mean, let's face it, they really are just doing Scream 2 again. It does enough different things that, in my mind, this is a better version of Scream 2.
I was about to say, I think they definitely amped it up, and they made it better.
Especially when we get.
How is it like Scream 2?
Oh my God! It's exactly. It's exactly.
We'll get there,
college campus, film school is involved.
Oh yes.
The killers. I mean, spoilers. We're spoilers, but in Scream 2, it's Billy's mother. In Scream 6, it's Richie's dad. I mean, it's almost exactly the same movie.
Well, but
they both in a theater.
Yeah.
It's almost exactly the same movie.
It's like they saw Scream 2 and like, let's fix this.
Yeah, exactly. Or and in terms of like suspense scenes, we have the bridge, walkway, whatever the ladder.
I like the killers in Scream 5. Excuse me. Better than the killers in Scream 6. Richie and that psychotic girl that gets burned up. First of all, awesome kill where she gets set on fire in part 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Richie and her, I thought they were really cool killers. I like the fact that they're in the movie enough. In part 6, the cop is in the movie not enough, in my opinion, until the 3rd act. And the other, I don't know if it was his son, the curly-haired guy, who's also the killer. There's 3 killers, by the way, in part 6. The curly-haired guy, he's just like, he doesn't have enough lines throughout the movie. It's like you see him here and there, and then at the end when he pulls off his mask, I'm like, I like a killer that's interspersed throughout the movie enough. By the way, I liked part 6. I liked part 5. I'm just trying to explain why I give a little slight more liking to part 5 than 6. They're both excellent films. Go ahead, yeah.
If you want to be technical, they are present but they're under a mask. If you want to be technical.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, and here's okay. Well, let's start backwards because the killers are a big part of this. The killers are a big part of this. Here's why I like Officer Bailey or Detective Bailey better than Debbie Salt. Debbie Salt was a middle-aged woman who was doing all these killings. Now, she was the one who killed Randy, apparently. Here, we have a police officer. He's got gun training. He's got fight experience. So it makes sense that our Ghostface is going to walk into a store, stab the shit out of him, especially he's angry. He's going to stab the shit out of customers. He's going to know his way around a gun. He's going to know how to use a shotgun. It was all realistic. I didn't believe for a second that Debbie Salt was a killer in part 2. I was like, are you kidding me? A crazy woman, like a Karen? I don't know, man.
Well, that's the thing, because it's not to say that a woman can do that, but that particular Laurie Metcalf, right?
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't buy her being like overtly physical, even though if she's angry and she wants to get revenge. I wouldn't buy her being the one to.
Yeah, me neither.
At least not an intense kill, maybe a stab or something, but not like that. Like the way that Randy was pulled into the van like that, I would have been more Mickey that he would have done that, not her. Like, So yeah, I agree. It's more believable.
Moving a little bit back on something you said, Master Chaos. You said that the reveal for part 4 was excellent, and I agree. One of the things that I always liked about the first movie is how the killers they hurt themselves on purpose to appear that they were attacked by Ghostface. Now,
Right.
in part 4, she takes it to another level. She jumps
Yeah.
on glass. There's a coffee table made out of glass. She jumps on it, breaks it. Then she gets the knife against the wall into her chest, her shoulder. I think it was like it ramped things up. So that's another reason why amongst the three of us, part 4, I believe, is the next best film after the first one.
Mhm.
In my
Absolutely.
opinion. I think we will all agree, or Tracker Chaos, did you put part 6 higher up
No,
after part 1?
I agree. Four is the initial yeah.
Right.
The,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
next best.
So I always liked how that little detail, and in part 4 how she went ape shit, hurting herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really
Um,
intense. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's stick with 6 so we don't go off track too much here.
Gotcha.
Let's talk. Okay, so there's 3 killers. It's Detective Bailey. It's
Ethan.
oh my god, it's Ethan, and then
And
oh my fucking god, I've seen
The
this thing 3
redhead.
times.
yeah,
Quinn.
Why am I-
Quinn.
Quinn. Right.
And they're all. It's basically father, son, and daughter. It's a family of killers.
That's just freaking nuts. That's
And
great.
look, again, if it's a Scream 2 thing, and we all talked about if they do the Debbie Salt thing and this is gonna suck. I think it works here, only because I think they did it better than Scream 2, and more rewarding. And I love that it's 3 killers. It's not just 1 or 2. There are some things that we should talk about that might be plot holes. And we're gonna bring those up. I think Blucka Blucka in the chat has brought those up. So let's dive into this real quick. Let's talk about Ethan. Ethan is the young, nerdy, dorky guy that's Chad's roommate, and it turns out, Mindy pegs him right at the beginning. You're the killer, and he's like, "No, I'm just a dork," and it turns out he is the killer. Now, how did you feel about Ethan, TC? When he was revealed, you're like, "I knew it," or like, "Oh, okay,
Well,
I guess."
I mean, see, I don't know. I'm a little torn when it comes to those things because, on the one hand, I'd rather the killer, if it's at all. I mean, it's always going to be someone they know. They always point that out.
Mhm.
But it's a little annoying when they point out, "Oh, you're the killer." Like they did that in the 5th one, for example. Just as an example, they did it in this one,
Yeah.
and they were right. And it's like, granted, if they throw enough curveballs to really throw you off the scent, okay, I'm fine with it. But at the same time, it's like sometimes I think I'd rather have that much more of a surprise of the killer than it be like, oh, the one that they always thought it was. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Right.
but I mean, yeah, the whole family thing was an interesting take with all 3 of them. I don't know if some might say it's a stretch because it's understandable that their sibling and the son was murdered. You're gonna feel what you're gonna feel. But what are the chances that all 3 of them are gonna be like, you know what? Yeah, let's let's do
Yeah.
this. It's like a family plan. A family
Psychos.
trip. So that might be but I still like it better. I agree. I like it better with the whole Deadly Salt thing. I think it works better, and it's just
BC.
crazy.
Right. BC, what do you think? Ethan.
I didn't like his character when it was revealed that he was the killer. I was like, okay, he wasn't in the film enough, but I understand. There's a lot of characters in the film. They each need. Plus, there's 3 killers, so I didn't like his character. He seemed too mild mannered. He was granted more violent and aggressive during the chaos that happens in the 3rd act. But I didn't like his character. When he was revealed, I was like, man. And the police officer dad, I didn't like his face. I didn't.
Oh man.
I was surprised when his daughter and the dad initially faked the daughter's death.
Well, we'll talk about that. Let's just stick with Ethan for the moment.
I thought
Ethan, he was through the whole movie. I mean, he was in every scene with the group for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't think he had enough lines though. or did he?
No, I mean,
I don't
no. Most of his lines were like, "Why am I here? I don't want to get killed or whatever." So,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like the situation with Scream 3, where when Roman is revealed, I literally was like, "Who the fuck is that?" Like,
Yeah.
I didn't remember him because his character is killed off. And I'm like, "Wait, who is that?" Oh,
But, you know,
oh,
one thing I do love though is what you pointed out, BC, that yeah, his character was very mild mannered, very whatever. But when he's revealed that he's a freaking psycho, that's great because it's a complete opposite side of the spectrum. So he played
Yeah.
it perfectly, as far as like throwing you off the scent. So
yeah.
yeah,
Here is a plot hole, and I completely agree, Blanca. Ethan saving Mindy makes no sense to the story, so that is the writers and directors doing misdirection specifically to the audience. He says no fucks given about the story. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Blanca. And it also, going back, having watched it 3 times, you notice all these little things. Going back and thinking, oh wait, so Quinn was Ghostface on the train and she stabbed Mindy. But if Ethan was a killer, why didn't Ethan just kill her? And then that's it. Like, why would Ethan have to save her? I agree. That is a plot hole. That is a plot hole, but
they probably figured it was just a way to further throw you off the scent of him possibly a
right,
possible
right.
killer, because like if he was the killer, why would he do that? Exactly what's being said. Why would he do that?
Yeah, but it makes
Now,
no sense in the movie logic, in the
yes,
story going on. Yeah.
yeah.
It's. I mean, that's the thing. Movies.
Mindy, I
Do
mean,
that.
Quinn should have stabbed deeper, is what she should have done. There would have been nothing to save, but
I mean, yeah. I mean, it is. It is weird. It is weird. I'll give you that. I'm not gonna explain it, but it's something that I can imagine there was some internal logic in the story, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. What do you? Does that bother you guys that happened? BC, you sound bothered.
No, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. I mean, I've only seen the movie once. I mean, I'm gonna buy it obviously, but because I really enjoyed it. But it doesn't bother me. I mean, sometimes I guess as a writer, you get put in up against the rock and a hard place because you have to, you know, have
Right.
the movie make sense, and then you have to throw off the audience, especially in these types of movies.
Right.
So I understand that. So it didn't bother me.
TC.
no, I was kind of cool with it because I mean, I understand the I guess negative thoughts on it, but at the same time, I guess I'll buy, like, again, I guess just to throw more of a curveball, and maybe who knows, maybe like Quinn should have killed her and she didn't work out, so he kind of played off like the fact that, oh, she didn't die, so he had to pretend, I guess, what have you, because, well, I know it's a little further down, but kind of with Gale too, and they mentioned how they have to go back for them. So
Right.
they were gonna finish the job. It's not like they were gonna just leave them. They're gonna finish the job.
By
But I
the
guess the
way,
main focus were the sisters. So
did everybody, in my opinion, Gail Courtney Cox has not aged well, but I don't think it's so much the aging. I think it looks like she has had procedures done to her face, and
Yeah.
she doesn't look good. Why wouldn't she just age normally? And she looks fake. That in part 5 and part 6, I'm like, look at her, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Skeletor, or the Crypt Keeper. I mean,
Oh
she
my
was
God.
beautiful in Friends. I mean, in the first few Scream movies,
yeah,
she was
Uh-huh.
hot, but she's not hot anymore. I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't know.
I agree.
Mhm.
It's unfortunate. Helen Hunt's gotten worse, actually, but
Oh,
we'll see. We'll see her in Twister 2.
yeah.
Here's another interesting thing. Blanca brings up Detective Bailey says he replaces his daughter's body with prosthetics, not prosthetics. He says he switched out for another dead body. But he does mention fake blood, which is weird. But I would imagine more fake blood on Quinn's body when she's killed off camera. There's no way that no one figures out it's a fake corpse in the story. That is a stretch as well. I do agree
yeah.
I think that was my biggest hang up, that Quinn's death is faked, and then he how did he get a chance to smuggle in a dead body? Letty goes, "Oh, let me just bring this in. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's my laundry. Don't worry about it." You know what I mean?
No,
It's
but
like,
it could have been something. Well, I mean, I don't know, because he's a cop. Who knows? Could be a way that he could switch the. I don't know. I'm super stretched, but like switch the toe tags on the corpses. Who knows? But like somehow got it in the morgue and doctored stuff.
But I
Who
mean,
knows?
if the police are called to the scene and they're gonna check the body, they see, oh, she still has
Right.
a pulse, she's alive.
Yeah.
I get that that's a stretch. I get that that's kind of
Yeah.
goofy,
Yeah.
but I mean, look, this is Scream 6. This is like Fast and the Furious rules. Whatever, man. Cars can fly at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It, I kind of
Yeah.
accept that as just like, all right, he found a way. I don't want to question it too much.
I like that phrase, Master Chaos. I'm not gonna forget that. These are Fast and the Furious rules.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that. You should coin that. Whenever we're talking about a movie that has a like ridiculous scene, Fast and the Furious rules. Oh
Fast and
man.
Furious rules.
Time to get Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
I mean, real briefly, let's talk about everybody getting stabbed to shit and somehow surviving.
Yes.
I mean,
I know.
Well, we're obviously in spoiler territory, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that kind of pissed me off because I didn't want it to happen, but we were redeemed at the end, that when Chad got taken out, when he was being stabbed like by both of them, and like, oh,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
sucks. This sucks. That actually pissed me off. I didn't like that. But then when he came back at the end, like, oh man, 'cause he's gonna kick somebody's head in the next one. So that's good. But yeah,
I mean,
I'm like, oh man, he's the new Dewey. Clearly, he's the new Dewey, or at least the twins.
Everybody is apparently. Kirby did. Kirby survived a whole bunch of
Oh, yeah.
stabbings and stuff.
Yeah.
And how many times has Gail Weathers been shot? Jeez.
Man.
Crazy.
Yeah,
she
she
has
didn't
been
get shot
beat
in
up
this
a
one.
lot. What happened?
She has. She didn't get shot in this one, but she finally got some stabs in. And honestly, I mean, I'm glad they didn't kill Gail, but I think they probably could have killed Chad. I mean, I think that moment actually would have been more powerful after, which is another nice moment. Him and Tara getting together. That's something we didn't even see hinted at in part 5. Because he had Liv, and apparently in the original version, Tara was a lesbian and she was dating Amber. But I think they lost that in the movie. It's not really hinted at. So I like that, them getting together and then Chad getting killed. That would have been really poetic and really like intense. I kind of wish he died, but I really liked him in this. I thought he was a really good character.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree. I'm gonna talk about how hot Tara is. Oh my god.
We will.
Jeez.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. We'll get to your obsession in a moment. But I want to talk about these little plot holes here. Speaking of Kirby, Blanca says, killer knocking out Kirby made no sense to the story. They literally tried to kill her the second she appears. So it was misdirection directed at the audience again. You're right. Kirby being knocked out, and then you think, oh shit, it's Kirby. Kirby's the killer. And for a hot second, I'm like, holy shit, is it Kirby? Damn. I guess, but then
I didn't want that to be the case.
No.
Her hair looks better in this one.
Oh yeah.
Her hair was fine in the other one. But,
he not a fan of the short hair, huh?
No, not a fan of the short hair.
Yeah.
No.
But I agree that her being sort of knocked out and then coming back saying, oh, somebody knocked me out. They should have killed her. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But again, it's Fast and the Furious rules, man. You just have to, you either accept it or you don't, and I was okay with it. I was okay with that. Another one from Blanca, the taser. They established Sam's taser, and they don't ever bring it back. So that is interesting. I wonder if there was sort of another payoff to Sam's taser in the movie. Not a deal breaker for me, but what did you guys think of the taser? I love when she tases that dude in the balls.
Yeah, she just what was it? She said she just casually looked. I'm just gonna tase you in the nuts, huh, bruh?
Yeah, the Mr. Date Rape guy, right?
Yeah.
He was in the frat house party.
Fireball.
Yeah. I mean, can't blame him. She is hot. He just wanted to go upstairs with her.
That guy had like 20
Pokemon card collection.
But that guy's was 20 feet taller than she was.
Yeah, I looked up how tall she is. She's 5'1".
Jesus.
Yeah.
I think my daughter's taller. My 14-year-old is taller. Okay, well, here we have a lot in the chat. Don't worry, we'll try to get to everybody. And Blucko, that's funny. Samara is playing a character named Laura, which was Sydney's fake name in Scream 3. So in a way, they do sort of kill Sydney off. That's interesting. That is a good way to look at it. And Skylar says we're awesome. Thank you, Skylar. You're awesome.
Thank you.
You're fantastic. All right, let's talk about. So we discussed the killers, Quinn faking her death, and then Quinn is basically the one that gets to run around free while we have time with the cop, and the Ethan guy who's sort of just lurking in the background. One of my favorite moments going back when you watch the movie a second time, you start noticing things. There's a moment where the cop discovers his daughter's dead body. He comes out to talk to the sisters, and he looks at Sam and he says, "You fuck with my family, you die." And I was like, "Oh," because he's the killer. I like what you did there, and I like when they do that, when they put Easter eggs in there that make the movie rewatchable. You pick little things up, on second glance, and I like that quite a bit. And I like that Quinn was a slutty gal having sex. Did you have any problems with that, BC?
Not at all. No, I didn't. Not at all.
Directed that towards you specifically. I think one of the keys for these movies for people to survive, or like the main characters to survive, they cannot have any friends at all, no roommates, nothing. They just themselves, the core four. That's it.
The core four, I remember that.
That's it, because every time they make a friend, that person is the killer or the dad of that person.
Right.
Every single time. So no, they gotta go to some kind of backwoods city or whatever, stay by themselves. I don't know.
Backwoods city. What's the only thing that's gonna suck now? Part 7, by the way, is greenlit and it's gonna start shooting this year. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, Scream 7, Beetlejuice 2 is what it's called, right? Something like that.
Yeah, Scream 7, Beetlejuice 2. So they're making 7 already, but here's the problem with that. We've already seen part 1 essentially rip off part, Scream 1. Right. Scream 6 essentially ripped off part 2. Now it's a no-brainer that Scream 7 is going to have a singular mastermind killer. Maybe the guy who radicalized Richie to begin with. Like, I set Richie and Amber off, so they're gonna do the Roman Bridger. I really hope they don't, but we've seen that that's what they're doing, and I really hope they don't do that. But at the same time, if it works, it works. If they do a better version of Roman Bridger, which they could easily fucking do, I'm all for it. But what do you guys think? Do you think in 7 we're gonna see a ripoff of 3, TC?
I mean, you have a very valid point. That could be. It seems like that's kind of like where it's going to, and I mean, if they like what happened with this one, they did a better version of the second one. So if they do a better version of the third one, it should be fine. Now, that being said, if they go beyond 7, I hope that at that point, if not by 7 itself, they get a bit as original as they can possibly get and try not to rehash other things, because that's what it feels like. And I don't know why. Have you heard about that? Like, was that the idea in a way to retell the story?
Yeah,
in a different way, right? That's a kind of.
I mean,
different characters.
Here's the thing: Paramount has the rights now. It's a different company, and they essentially, they want to reboot, but still keep it within the franchise. I don't think it's a great idea, because then when we saw pictures of Dermot Mulroney, I'm like, if they do Scream 2, he's the killer. So guess what? They did Scream 2, and he was the killer. But I almost didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe that they would do that. But I feel they made it work. Whether that was their plan, I don't know. But I think, as far as I understand, I think that they just want to do a trilogy with these characters, and then it'll be signing off, and then maybe, who knows, maybe they'll take a couple years off and come back with new victims or some shit. I don't know. But BC, what do you think? Do you think we're gonna see Scream 3 again in Scream 7?
I think there's a chance of it, and I think it's in good hands. Being that I liked both Part 5 and 6 quite a bit. I think there's a possibility, but now that they've done New York, that they showed that it was possible for a Scream movie to take place outside of Woodsboro and still be effective. To be honest with you, I was a little nervous going into Scream 6 because I said, how is this going to work outside of Woodsboro? Nev Campbell is not with us anymore in the franchise. So how is it going to work? No Nev Campbell, no Woodsboro. There's stuck in New York. I thought I was excited, but I was a little bit nervous. But they made it work, you know. So
I
I
mean,
think if they, what happened?
go ahead, continue.
So I think that if part 7 is gonna be an improvement or a reboot of part 3, like I said at the beginning, it's in good hands, and it's possible that it could be really, really effective and really well made. And I'm looking forward to that if that's what they are going to planning.
I mean, there's only been 3 movies in Woodsboro, to be honest. The rest of them have been, the other half have been in different places. We've been in, gosh, where was the school? Windsor College was in like Atlanta or something like that.
Oh,
And
really?
then we were in Hollywood, and then the fuck was the other one that I'm thinking of? Oh, and then New York. So I mean, Woodsboro's only really played a part in half of them. So I didn't have to worry about that. I just hope that part 3 doesn't take place in Los Angeles, because then I feel like they're really just like biting off the original trilogy, and there's no reason to do that.
Okay.
Chris says, just leaving theater now. Not sure how I feel about part 6. I liked 5. Chris, that's how I felt about 5. I wasn't sure really how I felt about it, but I think instantly I had a reaction to 6. I'm like, oh yeah, great. I think it works. I'm very, very happy. Casey is loving the Snuggies. I'm glad. Make sure you get yours for the next episode. By the way, next episode will be Roadhouse. We will be doing Roadhouse on that episode.
Awesome.
Well, we'll pick a day to do that. Blucka says, Gale ended Scream 5 more sympathetic and caring. Scream 6 starts Gale cold-hearted just to recreate the punch scene, and then she's immediately back to becoming sympathetic and caring. That's another good point, and I wanted to bring that up because one of the things I didn't like about the movie is the way they treated Gale. Because yes, we established her; she's loving and caring at the end. Yeah. She risked her life for these strangers. She's trying to get revenge for Dewey, and then just to go back and be a cold-hearted bitch that like sells out her friends, only for like the next scene to turn around and be, hey, let's be a family together and watch each other's backs. I wouldn't trust that bitch at all.
I agree.
So I didn't like that. TC, we'll start with you. Did that kind of rub you the wrong way?
Yeah, it's like they keep going back and forth with her, and that's exactly how I felt. It's like she's finally seems to have redeemed herself in a way, and then it's like, oh, you know what? I got nothing better to do. Let's just screw everything up again and just go back to the way she used to be. And it's like, it's like, so if they would have taken her out in this movie, that would have been fine, because I'm just annoyed by her dumbass for the character, of course I'm talking about. No, because it's true. It's just like you said. She's she starts out like this cold-hearted, obviously cutthroat reporter, not really care about anything but herself. And then it seems like she's evolving in a way throughout the series, and she seems to have reached the right spot. And then, I mean, she goes through this tragedy of losing, her former love and friend and all that. And then she just it's almost like she says, you know what? Screw it. And goes back to, it's like, that's forget it, man.
Yeah. It's rough. BC, did that bother you?
I agree with Tracker Chaos. She should have been killed in this movie, in my opinion. Whether it bothers me, I don't know. I mean, I guess in real life people go back and forth, but it was a little bit too dramatic of a change where she just wants the story and wants to write another book and get more fame. And how the commenter put that it was just for the punch scene. By the way, I loved that punch scene where was it Tara or her sister that punches her?
Tara punches her.
Sam goes for it, and then she dodges it, and then Tara
And
hits
she
her right in
dodges
the-
it, yes, and then Tara gets the connection. Yeah, I laughed when to myself when she moved her head to the side, like, oh, this has happened before, and then Tara punches her and then gets her. I thought that was really cool. But whether it bothers me, it didn't bother me at all. I mean, I guess people can change, but it didn't bother me.
It's just a hypocrite. She's just is a
It
total hypocrite.
it's a hypocrite move. And then something, obviously people can move on, have a relationship, but she's like.
Sure.
She's like in her, like nearly 60, and she's dating like a 20-year-old dude.
Yeah, and she kind of talks down on him too, because it's like when Ghostface like says, "Oh, his muscles didn't help him this much or whatever," and it's like, "Yeah, you're right." And like, what the hell's wrong with these?
Yeah. Yeah, she goes, "Yeah, they sure didn't." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Wow.
Like, what the hell, man?
Oh man.
That was kind of weird. So I wonder if she had feelings for Joel in Scream 2. Because she had like a black cameraman, so I wonder that should have been Joel. That would have been interesting if they somehow brought the actor back for that. But
right,
maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's too much.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Kirby, because that's another character that returns, and I was very happy that she was in the movie. Steve thinks that Kirby was wasted. The FBI agent angle was a misstep. Honestly, I think it makes sense, and I love. First of all, I'm glad Kirby was in this movie because of her, I didn't miss Sydney as much. And we'll talk about Sydney next. But I think Kirby really made this movie feel like it had the DNA of Scream. She's in my favorite sequel, so I'm happy she's here. And I love how they explain her survival. She said, "I died for 4 minutes, but they came back, and when I woke up, I was angry, and I didn't want to be afraid of the monsters. I wanted the monsters to be afraid of me." Yep. Fuck yeah. Perfect motivation for her to want to be an FBI agent, which is above a police officer, somebody who has more range, more ability to catch serial killers, because they go after serial killers. Yeah. I loved it. I thought it was a great idea. It was a great move. And I thought she was awesome. I don't know if you picked up on this, but she kind of gave me Janine Melnitz vibes. Because there's like a couple times when she says a line, and she says it like I got like an Annie Potts voice.
Oh, yeah. I think when one of them, when she was eating and she was looking at the pictures and she said something. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, damn, it feels like Janine to me. But I loved her in this, and I had no problem with her being an FBI agent. TC, what did you feel about Kirby?
No, I agree. I mean, it was pretty believable, because she also, in part 4, she had this toughness about her, like a coolness about her. So I could believe that she, being a survivor and stuff, and she wants to take stuff into her own hands. One thing I really loved, though, I thought it was pretty funny, because it's true. I mean, she looks like she doesn't age. She's one of those people. She aged great, right? And they point out, I think it's Gail who points out, they're letting kids into the FBI or something.
Yeah.
It's like, how is she in the FBI? Isn't she like 10 years old or something like that? Remember when they point out the fact that it's true, she looks really young and she's short. So it's like, wait a second, she looks like a little kid with a badge and a gun. But yeah, I'm really glad that they brought her back. Actually, I think I might have sent this to you, but apparently she had heard when they were making part 5, and she was interested in coming back, and obviously they didn't put her in that one, but she kind of petitioned to get into to get back. So, and they threw her into 6. So she wanted to be back. It's not just, oh, let's ask her. She actually wanted to come back.
Yeah, and I love that. I really love that. I'm glad they found a way to bring her back. BC, what did you feel about Kirby's return?
I loved it. And is it just me, or did she kind of look a little bit like Cynthia Rothrock?
Short, with a short hair.
Short with a short hair. She kind of looked like that to me.
If she did martial arts, I would have said 100%.
Yeah, she didn't do martial arts, but
she would have done that.
I loved that she came back, because part 4 is my favorite sequel, and having her back, it felt good. I was watching it, and it's true, Track of Chaos, she does not age, but I didn't notice that she was Hayden Panettiere. I'm butchering the last name.
No, yeah, you had it right.
Okay, I didn't realize that it was her until a little bit into the movie. And I go to Track of Chaos in the movie theater. Is that Hayden Panettiere? Because I heard Kirby, and I'm like, I remember that name. I remember Kirby. And I'm trying in my mind to do the mental gymnastics Oh, that's right. Yeah, from part four. Yeah, I thought it was great, and how Master Chaos said that she said she technically died, so like they had to like revive her with CPR or whatever they do to revive her. I thought that was cool, and the
Hmm.
whole line about the being not afraid of the monsters, that was good too.
Yeah, that
And
trajectory that they did to the FBI, I think was really cool. That was a cool. It's not like she just
yeah,
showed up and she wanted to help the gang, but she actually had,
mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
But
gonna say I miss Dewey, so I did.
Yeah.
you know who doesn't miss Dewey? Gale. That's who doesn't miss him.
Yeah, that's right.
Bitch.
Yeah.
I
Oh
miss
man.
Dewey, and
Yeah.
let's talk about Sydney now, since we have her on the table, have her on the table. Uh, since she's sort of been in conversation. Casey comments, Cox has been on the downhill since Ace Ventura. Jesus. Uh, Mike says, didn't Courtney Cox say she regrets having so much surgery? I have not followed
Yeah, I
her.
think
I
so.
don't
I
know.
think she said that. I think she said that.
Man,
You know
I
what I
feel
heard
bad
that
for all the things I said about her,
I
man.
think she also I think she regrets the which BC mentioned it the other day, the bangs she had in
Oh, and three,
Part
yeah.
three,
in
yeah.
three.
Oh, she
Yeah.
looked awful in that. It's like short hair in the front, then with the long hair in the back, kind of like a female mullet, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
didn't
what did
like
they
her
say?
haircut.
What did they say about mullets? Party in the front,
Yeah,
sexy
business
in
in
the
the front,
back.
party in the no
No,
part business in the front,
business in
party
the
in the back.
front, party in the back. Yeah,
Yeah.
There you go. That's what it was. It was just business, guys. It's just
Yeah,
business.
yeah.
business.
Just let it go. Just let it go. It's
Yeah.
business. Um, Roland says it's New York. Nameless crackhead dead bodies litter the city. Yeah, so you kind of did.
Yeah.
Is that a Ghostface killer or was that somebody else?
Yeah.
um, Sydney. Sydney's not in this. Unfortunately, we all know. You know, I was the one who
Yeah.
sort of broke that she wasn't going to be in this, which
Yeah.
is an honor in a way, but also, you know, a lot of people were like, he doesn't know what he's talking about, blah blah blah, whatever. I stayed out of it, but I was right.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha. I didn't want to be right, but I was. But anyway, uh, I didn't miss her in this because they did something really smart, and this is something we haven't
Right.
really talked about. We can address this now.
Right.
This wasn't Sydney's story, and I think
Mhm.
that was brilliant. A brilliant way to not. We don't need her in this one.
Yeah.
The reason I didn't like 5 is because I knew what they were trying to do. They were trying to go, okay, forget Sydney. Hey, look at these. Look at the new Sydney. Haha, look at the shiny new
Yeah.
Sydney. Latina Sydney, everybody. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, I knew what they were trying to do. And that pissed me off. Here, it was rewarding because it built off of what we did in 5. And this was a fallout from part 5. The biggest thing that really made me like Sam was that now everybody on the internet thought that she was the secret killer, that
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
framed Richie, and Richie was wrongfully accused. Basically, she
Thanks,
set up her
Quinn.
boyfriend, and she was the killer.
Yeah.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that angle, and I love that the killers weren't, oh, we're going after Sydney, but we're gonna kill you guys first. It was all about, you know, she fucked over our family member, and now we're going to kill her.
Right.
That 100% works. And then Gail says the most important thing that I think really allows the franchise to go forward. She says,
Yeah.
Sydney deserves her happy ending.
100%. Yep.
I got a little misty eyed. I'm like, you know what? She does. She does deserve her happy ending. And as long as she's away and she's safe, she can always come back. You know, on a rainy day, we can always bring her back.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
and I was happy. And I was one of the ones who was like, you know what? Sydney's not in this. It's not a Scream movie. It doesn't count. And here I'm saying it's the third best Scream movie. So I think they handled her quite well. BC, I'll start with you. What do you think about Sydney's explanation here?
I thought it was handled well. Um, I I'm this is I guess not a popular opinion, but I was never really a super fan of Sydney. I liked more Dewey than Sydney. Sydney, like her facial expressions and stuff like that, Nev Campbell's, I wasn't a big fan of. I understand that she's the
Okay.
final girl in these movies,
Yeah.
and I liked seeing her, but I didn't miss her in this one, but not for the reasons you're saying. Just but because the rest of the movie was so well made that I didn't really. It worked without Sydney in this movie. They made it work because in part five she is treated as a second hand. Tara and Sam are the main characters in part five, and she's
Right.
just like they say the legacy character that comes to help. Now she's not the main victim, the main character. The killer is not after her for some reason. In this one, that takes place in New York. It would be weird seeing Sydney's character in New York, coming from wherever she is, coming to New York. It, I guess they could make it work if they wanted to, but seeing Sydney in New York, just I don't know. I think it was fine without her. So that's my opinion.
TC.
Yeah, I echo both your sentiments. It's true. I mean, I think that they did it. I mean, they probably couldn't have done it in a better way. With a simple line, that she basically run off into the sunset. And again, if they want to or need to bring her back, they could, but they don't have to because it's like she's there at this point. She's just like gonna be a set piece. Like, why is she there? I mean, to a certain degree, she even didn't need to be in the last one. They could have just ended her in the fourth one because technically that did technically end her story, truly end her story.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
but that being said, though, based on how things ultimately progressed, and the concern and the backlash and all that with her not being in the movie, although she's in it spiritually, of course. But yeah, I mean, as simple as it was and as a quick a scene as it was, but it was like I think it's probably the best way they could have done it.
Right.
Could I say something
I
that
agree.
came to my mind?
Sure.
Um, these for me the Scream movies, and I guess most horror movies, but these Scream movies, the main characters that the filmmakers want are a group of teens or college kids, and the killers after them. And you exploit their youth. When you're young, you look good, you act good. A lot of people like seeing you on screen. When you're older, you get kind of pushed back, and I'm the first to say that's kind of sad. That's happening in Hollywood. You know, kind of like the older characters come back and they want to do a sequel to a popular franchise, and they can't. It's not as good as when they were younger.
Yeah.
In
Feels
my
different.
opinion, they don't
It feels
have the
different.
same draw. They don't look the same. There's exceptions because Sylvester Stallone. I like the sequels
Rocky.
to Rambo,
Oh, Rambo.
the where he's older,
Hmm.
Oh
and
yeah.
unfortunately Bruce Willis is not acting anymore because of his illness. But I would have liked to see him. The fans want to see him, but I understand how the Hollywood machine wants a new, younger, more buffed. Because when you're older, your muscles look different. Like Sylvester Stallone, no matter how much work he puts into his physical routine, he's not gonna look as he did when he was doing First Blood. The first
Yeah.
or the second. So I'm okay with um, Nev Campbell passing the torch to Jenna Ortega and the I don't know the actress that played Sam.
Barrera, right? I forgot the
Yes.
first name.
My God, Melissa Barrera.
Mm.
Yes, they both are doing a bang up job. Is it just me or is Jenna Ortega in everything these
Yeah.
days?
And now, yeah.
Yeah.
Wednesday, X, Scream Six.
I forget that she's an X sometimes. To be honest with you, I always
Yeah.
forget she's
Yeah,
an
Yeah.
X. But yeah,
she's in everything. So, going back to your original question of how did I feel that Nev Campbell's not in this one? What do you think, Master Chaos? And you could add your comments as well, Chucker Chaos,
Mhm.
about the the main characters in franchises being given secondary roles now that they're older. Like, for example, and I'm gonna end with this my rant. Harrison Ford now is gonna be replaced, from what I hear, in the new Indiana Jones.
We'll see
What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on and that thing that happens in Hollywood when they don't no longer want to give the older actors of a popular franchise the main role?
I mean, I think that's just the way the business is in general, because they have to keep the machine moving, and you can only go so far. Once they're older, you have if you want to move on with a franchise, you have to use somebody younger. That's just how it is. Because I mean, especially if it's a big money maker, I don't know what they're gonna do with Indiana Jones. They better not do anything bad. But the movie, honestly, the trailer looks. I mean, I enjoyed Crystal Skull for what it was, but this
Yeah.
movie looks like it feels more like the other movies did. You know what I'm trying to
I
say?
agree. I agree.
Like and then when I didn't remember who was directing it. It's James Mangold, right?
Yeah.
Is that, so I'm ultimately I'm gonna go in with a positive mentality. I mean, hopefully it's like the Scream 6 situation that you're gonna go in with some kind of trepidation, but with a hopefully that things work out, and then it's gonna be like, oh, this is awesome. It's a good send off for him.
Right.
I'm
Right.
hoping. I'm hoping.
I honestly just start new franchises. How are our kids gonna have stuff to look forward to in the future if you're just recycling shit?
Yeah.
Do new things.
Yeah.
Do new things. That's all I want. I mean,
Yeah.
BC. I know you're in love with God damn it, with Jenna Ortega, but would you like it if she's in Scream 13 and she looks like this?
Oh man.
No, I wouldn't like that.
That'd be funny.
No.
Oh man.
Come on, guys! I've been through this before.
Yeah,
Wait a second. Where do we go?
I'm Tara. Of course, I have a gun.
Right? Yeah, exactly. There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. Oh man, that's amazing.
What was I gonna say? Oh man. Oh no, I was gonna say something else, but we'll get to that part. Forget it. Continue.
8-Bit Authority says everyone had iron organs. That's something we should touch on. I think we
Yes.
briefly talked about how everybody was unstoppable. Alyssa Milano, star of Teen Wolf 3, says all of the main characters got stabbed multiple times and all lived. The ones that die are the throwaway characters. That is true. They sure stabbed everybody, and everybody somehow survived.
Well,
like-
there's
well,
an easy
here's a
answer to
good one.
that.
Blanca says, nothing major but funny. Tara got stabbed in the back and stomach, but the medics just give her an arm brace and she walks away. That's
Yes.
that's another solid point. People seem to survive pretty well in this franchise.
Well, see, the
Yeah,
thing is, as
yeah.
as brutal as the killer was in this one, but I guess maybe they just were not really good at killing after all. Like they hit it all the wrong spots. It's like maybe can you imagine if they're doing like crazy stabs and they're not even touching the person, they're completely missing them.
Right. One
So
thing
maybe
that
that's
was
what it is.
weird though, I feel like the killers were too similar. Like,
Mm.
in part 5, we saw Ghostface going go crazy, and then when Sam kills Richie, she's going the same as Ghostface. And in this one, Ghostface goes stabbing and then when Sam kills Detective Bailey, she's going So I feel like maybe that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make Ghostface be the super stab guy, but if everybody kills the same way, there's no differentiation. And that's something I want to see in 7, where this Ghostface kills different. Maybe he doesn't do this. Maybe he wipes it on his shoulder, or there's something different that it's not
Two
like
knives
they're all
and they go
right. Like maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's more of a slasher guy. Maybe he's not a stabber. So I would love
or
to see a
different
little
weapons or
change
different
up.
sharp weapons.
Or like fucking chainsaw, bring in a chainsaw or a weed whacker or something crazy, or dynamite, something nuts. I want to see that in 7.
Manchikas, in which was it in part 5 or part 6? Now, I hope I'm not remembering this incorrectly, but didn't the Ghostface killer wear a bulletproof vest? Was it in part 5 or part 6?
Bulletproof Vest is in the 3rd movie.
Oh, in the 3rd movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's cool. I wonder if the police officer in part 6, the detective, wore one under his suit. But
Wait, didn't what's her face wear? Didn't Amber wear one in the fifth one? Like that's
No.
when Dewey shot her and it didn't. No. Oh, okay.
Oh, as Ghostface, yes, as Ghostface.
Yeah,
that's Ghostface. Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I
Yeah,
was
in the
referring
hospital.
to.
Yeah.
One thing I
No,
really love.
okay. You said you want
sorry,
like
Basil.
you were saying chainsaw, flamethrower, all that stuff. I don't know. I think Ghostface has to, just like Jason Voorhees, his main weapon is the machete. I think the Ghostface killer, the main weapon has to be the hunting knife.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the huge ass crocodile Dundee. That's not a knife. This is a knife. That knife. Maybe have variations on the hunting knife. Have one that's extra longer blade, or
like,
one two more serrations
or
on
like
it.
the knife from Cobra. That's a cool one.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I think Ghostface has to have a knife. They made all the figures
Oh
with the
yeah.
knife for a reason.
Well, that's its thing. Yeah, it's like
I
Freddy
think
has
that
his
has to be
glove and all that. Yeah.
his main weapon. I mean,
Yeah.
I love the shotgun though. I'm not gonna lie.
That was
I
great.
love the shotgun.
But you know what? But they can still get creative with the knife because you can stab someone in the head. Or you could do a certain thing.
And
It doesn't
they
always
have
have to
done
be
that.
stabbed in the gut. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
They could still do creative kills with the knife just the same. You know, be a little bit more original with it. Well, I mean, like
Anthony Anderson got stabbed in the head, so
Yeah. And like one of the things I loved about this one was when Sam got in Billy's gear, and she just went crazy on. I love that so much. That was so cool. That was cool. Now, what do you think about them kind of keep pushing her, trying to become a killer? Like, and like it's like she just gets so close, and then she like doesn't do it.
there's no way that they're gonna make her a killer at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like that's stupid. They've already established her as trying to get help and
Too obvious.
surviving. But they can't make her a killer. I think that would be crap.
Yeah.
That would not be good. It's something I would not agree with. Blanca says Scream is definitely in Fast and the Furious territory. You just got to have fun with it and forget it. And Blanca continues, I think my problem is I try to compare it to radio sounds to Wes and Kevin. I miss the clever writing and scenes. I agree. They're very different people, and it's hard to compare and contrast. But we're playing in a different ball field now with a different team, and at least from what I saw, they love this franchise, and they're trying to entertain the hell out of people, and I think that's honestly all we can ask for, really.
Didn't Kevin produce this or executive produce it?
He executive produced it, which means that maybe like he gave notes on the script, but he wasn't like in charge of casting and stuff like that. Honestly, it's probably like an in name only kind of thing. The way those really work, like the same way like Courtney Cox has like a producer credit, but it's here you get a little more money. Here's a producer credit kind of a thing. But I don't think she had a say in like the kills or whatever.
And you yourself, you haven't been contacted to write or direct the next movie?
No, not yet. But I tell you what, I want to do one at Asylum. I absolutely want to do one, but they don't like they don't get slasher movies. They don't know how to sell them. So,
but no, do the real one. Do the real one.
One day I will. I'm actually
do a Bond movie. Do a Bond movie.
Here, I'm gonna drop some tea for those watching in the middle of this episode, and I probably won't mention this again until it's 100% confirmed. I haven't told TC this, so I want to see his reaction. Okay. My Leech Woman movie for Full Moon that I'll be shooting now. I'm gonna be shooting it in May.
Yeah.
It's technically a slasher movie, and my lead actress, Diana Prince.
What? Seriously?
Yep.
Holy crap!
That's really cool.
I cannot be surprised because I know she's a big Full Moon fan. So
Darcy the Mail Girl is in my movie, and
official for real?
Well, nothing's been signed, but she's
it's in the ether.
It's in the ether. She's basically she's in. Charlie Bance has to say no for it to not happen, but she's in.
Right.
She's in, and so were her boobs. So hey, man, it's gonna be a hell of a movie. So I'll take pictures and send them to TC. Hey, look, I'm having fun on set.
I don't know what you pointed me on. I don't know what did I do?
I know you're a fan.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you liked naked ladies. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, no, but I'm just no, but you're making.
Here, this is more your speed.
Hey, Hey, speaking of Speed, what do you think if they do another one of those? I know it was one of your favorites.
Speed? I don't know. It's possible. We're getting
Yeah.
off topic here.
I
Bob
know,
is in
sorry.
the chat. It's all good. Bob says, "What's up? Yeah, I love Cindy Prescott. She was my childhood. I agree, but they did a great job without her. However, they need to kill a main character for us to feel some emotion. Chad should have died. I agree, Bob. I think she absolutely wasn't necessarily needed, but Chad should have died.
I mean, you never know. Maybe in the next one, the twins will both die. So
Possible. Maybe one of them might go. Who knows? Or they might keep the core four forever. Who knows?
Mm.
Blanca says, "What are your thoughts on Ethan dying? Does the TV confirm Stu's dead? Stu is dead, 100%.
Why? What is it with that fan theory that he's still alive?
Everybody-
How many people think that when you
Everybody.
drop a TV that size?
Everybody, man.
But why?
I have a family emergency to deal with. I'll be right back. I'll turn
Okay.
it over to you guys.
Okay.
TC, what do you think? Does the TV confirm Stu's death? And then BC chime in.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's funny that came up because I was actually gonna mention it. Like, I don't understand what the deal is. I mean, I like Matthew Lillard too, and I'd love to see him back, and if that was even a possibility. But I don't get how anyone could think that, even though he wasn't shot. He had the multiple stabbings when they were stabbing each other, and then the tussle, and then the TV dropped on his head. But how could one even assume that anybody could survive that? And even if he did survive it, he would have been messed up in his brain. So I don't understand how anybody.
Yeah,
could
because and it wasn't like these modern TVs that are flat screen. It was in the 90s.
It was the big one.
It was the big box TV. The tube TV.
And like maybe unless he, like, if he had survived, but obviously he had some kind of brain damage, and maybe it was a scene in a hospital, and like they say, oh yeah, he's still alive, but he's sitting there in a wheelchair in the background. That's the most I can think, but I don't understand why anybody would assume or believe that there'd be a chance of him being still alive.
Well, this is maybe like going back to the first film, the Billy Loomis character.
Yeah.
We touched on this tonight a little bit, but I really didn't like him coming in Sam's, and they say that Sam has like since part 5, she's been seeing her father in like visions, and she goes to a psychiatrist for this, and she takes medications for it.
Yeah.
But that whole little side story of that thing happening to her, seeing and talking with her dead father.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. It doesn't work.
Do you think it would have been better if it was just his voice that she heard, but you didn't actually see him? Like, like it would have been more, I don't know if I should say realistic, but
I think they shouldn't. They should have just stayed away from that. I mean, okay, we know that her father was. Hey, I was just mentioning to Checo Chaos that I really didn't.
I heard the whole thing.
Okay.
I've been listening, so yeah, continue.
I really didn't like that. It just.
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, I don't know, to make the character mentally unwell. It's not needed. I don't know why they added that. And plus, just because I don't. Maybe fans want to see the Billy Loomis character, Skeet Ulrich, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to see him back. They love the first movie and they want to see him back again. But I think it adds nothing to the story, in my opinion.
They just want to do that little tease of, oh, let's see if she's gonna be pushed to that side and maybe she'll become the killer, and they just want to have that. But
okay, yeah.
I absolutely Stu is dead, and I think it's just ridiculous to think otherwise, because it just doesn't make any logical sense that he's alive. And I think this movie went a long way to saying Stu's dead, Stu's dead, Stu's dead.
And you know what? Even if he was still alive, he was really the secondary guy, though. The brains was Billy. So if Stu was still alive, so what? What was he gonna do? He wasn't
right.
The
Yeah,
one.
that's true. That's true.
He wasn't, So, but whatever.
He's far too sensitive. It was peer pressure.
Yeah.
So, Goofy. Hi, Goofy. Yes, I do have a PO box. It's in the description of this video. Blanca says, yeah, it feels like they're painting Billy as an anti-hero or trying to redeem him. It does feel that way. Like even though he's saying, let's kill these motherfuckers or whatever, it does feel like they're trying to say, like, oh, maybe And maybe we can look at him a little more sympathetically, since he's connected to our new heroine. But I don't know. Bob says, I'm done with the franchise if Stu comes back. Absolutely not. Yeah, it's stupid. I really hope they don't do that. I really hope. I would expect. I would be happy with Sam being the killer more than Stu coming back to life. Not for me. People are saying that Sam stabbed Bailey 32 times this movie. Damn, we're gonna have to go count that. I plan to watch it plenty of times. Like, this feels like a Scream movie that I could rewatch. I the one I've watched the least is probably technically 5, but of the main franchise, 3 is the one I've watched the least. But 6 feels like one that I'd rewatch quite a bit, because the thing that was missing the most from the 5th one is that it wasn't fun. The 5th one just didn't feel fun to me. It didn't have that fun energy.
I had fun with it. I thought it was fun.
Well, that's good.
I think this one had more of a rush feeling. This one had a bit more of a
more intensity. Yeah. This one just felt a little like more just more exciting. More like the characters got to be goofy with each other. They got to laugh.
Right.
This one was like Tara's in the hospital. Everybody's sad and depressed. Sam is like crying in every scene. Like it felt very dour and depressing.
Yeah. Where
this one felt like they got a chance to be human. They got a chance to fall in love. They got a chance to, connect, and that was missing in the other one. And I really, I missed that in the 5th one. I think this movie really delivers that. But we're sort of coming to the end here, because I wanted to keep this to like a tight 90 minutes for our inaugural episode here. Spoilery thoughts. Before we give our rankings, are there any last minute thoughts you guys wanted to share? TC?
No, I mean, if it turns out that they are kind of doing almost a redo of the first 3, given that they did a major improvement on the redo from the second one with this one, I have high hopes for the next one, if that's what they do. If they go a bit of a different route, a more original route, I'm happy with that too, because that's I think that's how it should be. It should evolve and just become something different, not the same old thing. But I have faith since they pulled it off big time with this one, regardless of what they do, I think it's going to be good.
Yeah. Hopefully.
No, hopefully, yeah. But there's less trepidation with the next one, I guess I could say. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Bones chiming in. I feel like they're doing the same thing with Sam, the anti-hero thing. Like, it's okay for her to put the mask on for Min and kill chaotically, but that doesn't make her a bad guy. I guess that is a good point. She does get away with being a murderer, but then again, Sydney killed a shit ton of people.
Yeah.
When it comes to protecting yourself, it's okay. Yeah. And I think that's
self-defense.
Yeah, self-defense. Yeah. You can get away with it. BC, any closing thoughts?
I think this movie was great. If you haven't seen it, watch the original films first, because like I mentioned, there's a scene in the police headquarters where there's a big old board where they have all the pictures of all the killers from all the films in the series. So you don't want to see that. Watch the movie in order, which is what I did before watching part 6.
Right.
And I was saying that, I go, how is it going to work in New York? They made it work. New York is such a unique and interesting location. So I was happy that the film was a success in New York, and it had the adrenaline pump going in the film, like Master Chaos said, that it was fast, one thing after another. And so yeah, if you're not a Scream fan, watch the originals first and then watch this one. I love this movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't spoil the franchise for yourself. Blanca says, I feel like Stu is coming back because the story feels like it's taking many beats from the latest Star Wars trilogy. Oh, that's right. Somehow, Stu Macher has returned. I really. Oh God. Oh my God. Now that you said that, I'm really worried now.
Well, maybe what I said. Maybe it's like he's in a hospital somewhere in a wheelchair because he had brain damage of some kind because a TV fell on his goddamn head, and that he's not gonna do anything. He's just because he can't.
He can't. Yeah. And the problem is though that's not established that Stu survived. And I think somebody would have mentioned, "Hey, did you know that Stu is still alive in a hospital, a mental hospital somewhere?" And he's not. So I don't know. I'd be very shocked. Honestly, maybe they could make it work. I mean, the fact that they pulled off essentially remaking part 2, and I think it's a better version than part 2.
Mhm.
There's nobody singing on tables. You know, I think the crawling across the ladder scene is way more suspenseful than them crawling across Ghostface in the car scene. I think that setup with her and Hallie trapped in the car is a great scene, but it goes on too long, and it's a little. Every time I rewatch part 2, honestly, I'm fast forwarding because it just takes too long, and it's not as tense.
Yeah.
But I feel this one is tense because there's people in there, there's people yelling, and there's a lot of just a lot of movement and action to it.
Yeah.
Which makes it much more rewatchable than watching 2 girls crawl over somebody really slowly.
Yeah.
I never liked that scene. I think that scene really holds up the movie, to be honest. But anyway, yeah. In terms of final thoughts, I think it's one of the truly great sequels in the franchise. I think this is our Jason Lives. It's the one where the fans are going to go, "Oh man, 6 is really great. 6 is the one that's really going to be like if you the bloodiest one, the most violent one." Are they going to top Ghostface in 7? I mean, is he going to ram a tractor into somebody's head? Who knows? Who knows? Are they going to go into Hollywood? I hope not, but we'll find out hopefully, and I'll keep you posted on Coffee with Chaos, my morning show, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If once news drops on what's happening, I will keep you covered there. All right, time for our rankings. TC, why don't you go first? What are your rankings in series order?
All right, from top to bottom, I'm going 1, 4, 6, 2, 5, 3.
Okay, BC.
1, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3.
Okay, excellent. I think I'm following TC on this. It's 1, 4, 6, 2, 3, and then 5. And the only reason I give the edge to 3 is because it's got all my favorite characters in it. Although, well, maybe. I don't know, because a 5 I think is gosh, that's hard. You know what? I'll reverse it. I forgot what your rating was, TC. Did you have 5 last or 3
no?
last?
Mine was 2, 5, 3.
2, 5, 3. I think I'll go with that. I think I'll put 3 at the end because 3 really is unsatisfying, and it breaks the franchise. It has things that. That's another reason I didn't like Part 5, because it has things in Part 5 that don't make any fucking logical sense to the rest of the franchise. I'm sure BC didn't pick up on this, but there's a scene in the movie where they're watching Dawson's Creek.
I noticed that. Yeah.
And now, why is that weird? Do you know why that's weird?
Yeah, because Kevin Williamson wrote the episodes for Dawson's Creek, right?
Yeah, but there's another reason. There's a character that's shown on screen that completely makes the entire movie erase itself from existence because they made this one mistake.
Tell me.
Dawson's Creek stars Joshua Jackson, who was in Scream 2. So he's established in Scream 2 as a character in Scream 2. Not only that, the clip they shows Scott Foley. Scott Foley is Roman Bridger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Five takes a big shit on the franchise by saying, "Wait a minute, you just showed the killer from Scream 3 in your movie as a character from Dawson's Creek." I hate that. That stuff really fucking bugs me, man. Really.
Why would they keep that in the movie?
They probably thought it was funny. Like
they thought it was funny.
Kind of thing.
Maybe they didn't realize it, but and then they said, one thing that really bugged me is they say that they never made a stab movie about the events of part 4. I really didn't like that. I thought that was kind of that was kind of shitty that didn't happen. But yeah, that element, the Dawson's Creek thing, really pissed me off. But 3 is just unsatisfying. Mr. Bones, yeah, we love 4. 4 is our favorite sequel. Absolutely our favorite. And I know everyone's saying, "Oh man, Scream 6 is doing way better in its Saturday than Scream 4 did in its entire opening weekend." Fuck that, man. It doesn't matter how much money the movie made. It's really about like what the fandom thinks. And I don't know why Scream 4 failed. I have no idea. It's a satisfying movie, and I think most of the fans agree that it's a great sequel. So I don't get why it failed, and it sucks. It sucks that it failed, but I hate that people compare it to the most recent movie because it's not fair. But yeah, so I would definitely put 3 at the bottom. Unfortunately, I hope I never have to replace 3 as the worst one, because that would be unfortunate. I hope going forward we get satisfying movies.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's all we can take from it, you know. Blacka says, I enjoy 4 outside the intro and the 2 small killers, but it's not like movie ruining. I thought the intro was great because we got to see what the stab movies look like. I love that shit.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Bones, yes, I think eventually 3 and 4 will come to 4K sometime. 6 is already available, by the way, to pre-order on 4K through Amazon. Yeah, I already pre-ordered my Steelbook. So it's at a steep price, but don't worry, the price will go down. Yeah. You don't remember, if you order through Amazon, you actually don't pay until it's shipped. So
yeah, that's true.
You know, so I reserve your copy now, and or live to regret it as it is.
Yeah.
All right, that's a wrap. Blacka says, great stream. Thank you, Blacka. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Oh, you know what, Ragnar? That's another thing that I really hated about Scream 3. Sure. Scream 3 has another big. That's another thing. I forgot. I went off on a tangent with 5, but Scream 3 does another canon breaking thing because it has Jay and Silent Bob. In Scream 1, one of the videotapes on top of the VCR in the finale is Clerks. So what the fuck's going on here, movie? What's going on here? Are you telling me that that's Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith hanging out? No, because they call each other, hey, holy shit, Silent Bob. That's that Gail Weathers chick. I hate that. I hate that shit. Anyway, I'm not gonna go on that rant, but it was a lot of fun to discuss Scream 6 with you two and everybody watching live. Remember to give us a thumbs up. That helps the video. That helps the channel quite a bit. Next episode, we'll probably do something again in March. We'll probably reconvene in March for another Sunday. BC has chosen Roadhouse. BC, why did you choose Roadhouse? Tell us a little bit about that. What can we look forward to next time?
It was just an impulsive pick. I just you wanted a recent movie, and that's I remember when we were talking about this program. You wanted a movie that is familiar and that almost everyone has seen. So I looked in my pile, which one that is at the top of the list, and I saw Roadhouse, and I said, why not Roadhouse? That's it.
Roadhouse, yeah, and then TC will have one picked for episode 3. And going forward, we're just gonna pick a movie, either something new or old, but something we've watched recently that we just want to have a roundtable discussion about, and we'll tear into it at length. And I like that we're doing a super new movie, and then we're gonna do an older movie that's like new to 4K. I like that. We're gonna jump around. We're gonna have some fun. Mr. Bones says, did you guys get the popcorn bucket? I ordered mine online, but I won't have it till after summer.
August.
Did you guys get it?
No, I didn't get it.
I ordered it too, but at least I wonder if it'll come out by around the time that the movie comes out on 4K. Maybe.
Well, apparently, according to Twitter, it's the 4K is out July, so we'll see.
Oh, okay.
We'll definitely have it beforehand.
It'll be, at least ultimately it'll be here before Halloween, and that could definitely serve as a decoration or a trick or treat bucket. I'm
certainly not putting popcorn in it because it's hard as shit to clean out butter
I'm not gonna do
from those things. So no. But I would love to have it. All right, gang. Thanks for joining us. Next episode is Roadhouse. It is Sunday tomorrow on the channel Coffee with Chaos, episode 11. We're talking Scream 4K, Scream box office results. We're also going to be talking about the Sonny Chiba box set from Shout Factory. I'm going to be reviewing the first 2 titles, as well as some great news. And I'll tell you now, for those of you hanging out, my movie Headless Horseman is finally available on Tubi. That's right. Awesome. You can go to Tubi right now and watch Headless Horseman, the movie I filmed last night, which you may have followed on my behind the scenes here on the channel. It's on Tubi, free to watch. Please enjoy. I may do a watch along, although with Tubi there's trailers, there's commercials, and commercials might not sync up with everybody, so that might be difficult. But anyway, it's on Tubi. Go check it out. We'll talk. I'll look up Headless Horseman, the most recent one. I think there's another one on there, but mine is the most recent one. Look for the one that looks like Ghost Rider. That's basically what you got. All right. Thank you guys for watching. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have you here. From the Chaos family to you, happy screaming. We'll see you next time. Remember, if the phone rings, we'll be right back. Oh, perfect. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Y'all ready for this?